Hi guys, welcome back to Scrapping Scotland. Thank you for joining me in the shed today. It's actually a beautiful day outside, so really sunny, really warm, and that brings the noise of lawnmowers and strimmers. So if there is a bit of buzzing noise in the background, I do apologise, but it's a beautiful day. People get out and cut their gardens, and I'm obviously out in the shed in my garden. Today I'm actually going to be just looking at some cables. So I don't do street scrapping essentially, but what I do get is I get locals that keep their electronics for me and message me, and I go and pick them up, and that brings cables. So I need to sort some of them because it's a bit of a rat's nest, and it's taken up quite a bit of space, so I just need to sort out the power ones, which ones are copper and can be stripped, which ones aren't that copper coloured wire, and just go straight into my insulated wire pile. So that's what I'm going to do today. There's not too much of it, as you can see it's on the table here, but there's a bit, so I just need to get it sorted. Yeah, so we're going to sort that today. Obviously the power ones we'll just put aside, we'll strip them, we'll stick the plugs in a bin for some plug soup later. Some of the plugs actually, as you can see, don't require that, they're just screws, and it's just like a ceramic plastic this, and actually sometimes there's a little bit of copper in the back side of this plug as well. So the plugs will do it another time. The power cords will strip, and obviously a little bit of brass in these as well to take out, as well as these brass prongs. So they're all for a later date. We just want to separate these from the ones that are just going to go straight into the insulated copper pile, insulated copper wire pile. Yeah, and they just get kept in a big bin bag, and once that's full we'll fill another one, and we'll take, maybe when we got a few of them, take them to the scrapyard. Okay, so hope you enjoy this one, guys. I know a lot of you guys will be doing this if you're scrapping and sorting this stuff out. Get a lot of audio cables, speaker leads and things like that. So what I do have, just to test it, is my little wire clippers, and these just pull the wire apart, and you can see quite quickly if it's, you know, that lovely copper colour wire, or if it's silver plated or tin plated or whatever it may be. You know, it's still copper, most of it, or aluminium, but you know, I don't strip anything that's not copper coloured, so that's what I do. Okay, so just going to put these down, the power ones down to one side, and then we will look through the other ones to see if they're copper coloured or not. I can't see any other plugs there, so it looks like there's 6 power cords in with this bunch, which is not a lot, but is what it is. These cables you get a lot, can't remember the number of the little jacks on the end, but these little jacks have gold plated pins, if you can see that, little gold plated pins. Now what I do with these ones, I do snip them off and I take the gold out of these, and there's lots of videos online of how people do that. Usually I just do it with a couple of wire snips, and these things here, yeah, and just get into the bit and snip it. What I would say is that some of them are only gold plated on the tip and not all the way through, so I do check the side of it, and if it's silver then I don't bother, to be honest with you. If it's gold all the way through the pin, then I do take that. So this particular one is only gold tipped, so I won't try and do that one. Now, these ones, they will be gold all the way through, okay? There'll be a full gold pin, so those ones I will keep. Put them all in one pile at the moment and we'll sort them out later. But the wires in these are so thin that they're almost unstrippable, or certainly I'm not going to waste my time trying to strip them, so that will just go in the insulated wire pile. Those ones have actually quite long pins in them, and they are gold plated as well. So again, those will just go in the same recovery bin. The female jack has gold pins in it as well. And when you're sticking stuff just in your kind of insulated wire pile, just make sure you're taking off any clips and any plugs. Scrapyard won't like it if there's clips or plugs on it. This wire again is a couple of thin strips of wire inside this one. Not good enough for recovery for me. It actually seems like there's some string coming out of it as well, which you do get in some cables. So again, we'll be straight into the insulated wire pile. With these jacks on the end of these ones, these are RF cables. These can be brass, so always worth checking. Again, not one for stripping really. So again, that one will just go into the insulated wire pile. Your SCART leads are many small wires within a really thick core. If people are thinking that I'm not separating the grades of these wires out, that's because in my scrapyard there is no different gradings. It all goes under household wire, yeah. So there's not number 1, number 2 wire, so to speak. It's all categorized exactly the same, okay. So I don't separate it. It all goes in one pile and there's one price. Okay, the end of the SCART lead is magnetic, sticks to the magnet, so that's just in the steel pile. And then we'll trim these little jack heads off. Okay, so as you can see, Lots of wires inside one. There's actually thicker wires in this one than I thought, so I'm going to check a couple of them. So the little red one I had definitely is copper wire. And there's a decent bit of copper in it. Yep, the yellow one as well. Copper. As is the blue one. So actually with this one I'm going to strip. We'll take this copper out of this. So this will go to my stripping pile. As I say, normally they're not as thick, the wires inside, as these ones are. So even if they are copper, I would have just stuck it in the recovery pile for the insulated copper wire, but these ones are, you know, almost as thick as some of the power cables. So normally, as you can see on the end there, these thinner ones, obviously they're coming off from little junctions. The junction's got the thick copper, the thinner ones spread out into the thinner copper. Okay, and take the jack off. Okay, so this one's going to be stripped. We'll put that with our power cords. That was a nice little surprise. I actually thought that would just go straight in the recovery bin. Okay, a couple of other ones with little jacks, as I say. These ones again are just gold plated on top, they're not full gold plating. Some guys will harvest all of these and they'll just keep them in different grades, so there'll be some pins that have some gold and they'll separate the pins that are fully gold plating. As I say, I don't, it's just a waste of my time. I don't get that many that it's worth my while going through it, and it's so time consuming, so I don't do it. Okay, audio video jacks. Again, can sometimes be nice copper wire on it, sometimes it's silver plated. So what we do is we cut it as high up towards the plug as possible. We will cut one of these to see if it's copper. Again, these are usually brass as well, they won't stick to your magnet. Okay, so what we'll do is we'll cut into one and we'll see if it's bright copper coloured. So again, we just take our little wire stripper, we give it a little pull, and as you can see, that's nice copper wire inside there. Okay, so that I can run through my little wire stripper. We will strip that. Goes in the stripping pile. Okay, the next one's another one of these little phone socket ones. It's got a nice big bit of ferrite in here that again I don't smash open, I just cut the ends off. Yeah. These are there to stop kind of signal interference. So nothing for that other than just stick that in the bin, to be honest. Okay, that goes in the bin for the gold pin recovery. And the wire goes in the insulated wire. Okay, computer mouse cable. So you come along across a lot of these if you do a lot of scrapping of computers and things. Again, we cut it high. This little bit on the end, it's extra. You know, that's fine, it adds to your weight. Still got wire inside it. Scrapyards don't mind that at all. Okay, it's definitely not stripping wire, so we'll stick that straight in our insulated wire pile. I can actually hit the bag from a foot away. So this one is VGA cable. This is for your monitors. So you stick a monitor to your computer tower. This is what you use. The pins in here are gold as well. They're quite difficult to get out, but they're worth recovering. The wire, not worth stripping. Okay, it's all little wires again. Probably coated, it's probably got an aluminium sleeve. Not something I'm going to spend my time stripping. What I do need to do is take the little ferrite pieces off it, so we need to cut them off. Okay, so another couple for our insulated wire recovery. Bucket. Next lead is just a USB. Not sure what that bit's for. Maybe it's for audio or I don't know, video or something like that. Standard USB on this side. Too much there. Okay, again, not stripping wire for USB leads. Okay, these pins in this one are gold, if you can see it on the side as well. They're gold all the way through, so they're good for recovering. And this cable is what you call Cat5 cable, okay? Lots of little wires inside the outer sleeve, okay? Cat5. Another RF lead. Getting through this little pile quite quickly. A brand new VGA cable. You know, could probably sell that, but again, just wasting my time. So it goes in the pile. There's so many places to buy these kind of things that, you know, if you stick it on eBay, then you're not going to get a lot of interest. And to actually sell it means you have to post it, and that has costs, and it becomes unrealistic. Now, getting into this one, you can definitely see there's copper wire inside of it. But it looks so hard to recover that I'm not going to bother. And that's fine, you know, with these things, do what works. It's too much effort, don't do it. I will strip this back a little bit and can show you though. So actually doing that has changed my mind a little bit, because it does have a copper outer piece. Okay, and that makes it worthwhile for me to strip that off. Okay, so I will strip that, and the small wires inside, I'll just stick them in the wire recovery bin. Okay, so I'll strip that outer shield just for that piece. Okay, it's not a massive piece, but worthwhile. And this stuff actually, it's quite easy just to pull, so hopefully we can just pull this straight off. I don't have to mess about with it and put it through the wire stripper. There you go, that easy. Okay, not everything requires the wire stripper. And then for that, you just push it down and pull that out. There we go. This can actually be brass as well. A lot of these are brass. So it may not actually be copper. Okay, I'll put that to the side at the moment. I don't want to just stick it in the copper pile if it is indeed brass. Okay, but you get silver coloured ones as well in the UK, and they are actually brass. I know the ones in the US aren't, but these ones are. Okay, I'll stick that to one side at the moment. We'll take off the aluminium sheathing, and actually doing that as well is a nice little bit of copper wire around this. So this piece at the moment just keeps giving. If I didn't get it stuck. is definitely copper wire. Some aluminium foil. Some of these other ones are wrapped in aluminium foil, but I'm not going to mess with them. I'll stick that like that into the insulated bin. Okay, another RF one. Again, snip off the plug, put that in for brass recovery. Some of these leads are really thick and got a little bit of weight to them, so they're always good for your insulated wire pile. Oh, wrong one. And this is what you call coaxial cable. Another USB. More audio leads. Give this one a test. Again, nice copper wire in that audio. Just pull that right off. Now what you usually see here is there's usually an inner wire. So if you can see here, it's nice copper. But there's a smaller inner wire as well. Sometimes that can be quite rigid plastic and difficult to strip, but there will be copper inside here as well. Okay, but we can run this through the stripper and obviously get that initial piece of copper out, and then we can try the little piece or just stick that again into our insulated bin. So the white one, the wire doesn't look very nice and bright and copper, so I'll just stick that into the insulated. Whereas the other half of it is. strange. Two wires connected together, one of them's nice bright copper, the other one isn't. Okay, this is audio cable. It is all silver plated, tin plated. Silver colour is what I mean, not actual silver. So again, straight into the insulated bin with this stuff. It's a shame because usually good quality speakers will come with a good quality speaker cable. And this actually came from a nice stereo unit, so it's a bit of a shame that they didn't provide really quality cable with the speaker system. Okay, more. Not sure if your guys' yards take coax or, you know, separate that out. I know it's kind of low grade, crappy stuff. But as I say, you know, my yard certainly takes it. Doesn't actually even look at it, they just empty it all into a bin. You know, just empty the bags that I provide, so there's never any scrutiny over it. Do need to try and sharpen these snips. Such a great utility tool, these things, that I use them for more than snipping wires, unfortunately. Snipping metal as well, and they can get blunt pretty quickly. Okay, we're nearly through our pile. Another mouse. Tele West Communications, whatever happened to them? Used to be a cable company. Not sure if they bought over, changed their name, went out of business. I used to see a lot of vans around the place when people were putting cable in. Not anymore, don't see them anymore. Certainly a lot of these RF leads with coax cable. And again, you can see the brass wire. sure it is brass, I don't think it's copper. Which if you think there's enough brass on this to be actually pulling this apart, probably not. But, you know, being a scrapper, you want to get the best value you can. And the best value would be to, I would say, would be to strip it. Because you're still recovering the other wires inside of it. The only weight you're not getting is the outer core. And there's the brass piece. Get an aluminium outer core again. Now this is the crappy coaxial stuff. Yeah. Now there is a single wire in that. And I'm still sure it's copper. In fact, I'm putting that on my magnet and it's sticking. Okay. So it looks like copper, as you can see, it looks like lovely copper core, but sticks to the magnet. Don't know if you can see that very effectively, but it does stick. It's not a very powerful magnet, mind you, but you can feel the magnetization. Okay, so that is just crap. I'm not going to bother stripping it, stick it in the steel pile. Just stick it in the steel pile as it is. Okay. Some more audio ones. Being a hot day, it is getting warm in this shed. It's not like there's ventilation going through it. Front door's open, there's ventilation coming in. But it's warm. Okay, so again, copper wire. Again, has the inner wire as well. Paint and strip, but it's copper wire. I'm stripping it. these little D-links, still take the wire off of them. And actually inside here there is a couple of little jacks, and they are usually gold bearing pins as well. There's actually usually as well a little tiny transformer in here, or a little inductor, a little spool of copper. So they're worth, you know, piling up and taking them apart all in one go. I've got several sitting here. Some of them are just plugged in, other ones are hardwired. Yeah, so definitely worth keeping and taking these apart, especially if you go for kind of gold recovery in your jacks and things like that. And then the wire just goes into the insulated wire. It's great when it's a sunny day like this, you know. As I say, you hear the streamers, the lawnmowers, kids playing in their gardens. Next door neighbour actually, I can hear, out doing a bit of football coaching with his son. That's what the good weather does. Father-son time, family time. Yeah, I'm out of my shed. But that's because my little girl is down for a midday nap. She's just a wee baba. A little toddler anyway. And my wife is having some alone time. Some peace and quiet and rest. So I'm out from under the feet. Still seem to be pulling wires everywhere here. I thought it was almost done. Let's test this one. So that one's bright silver. Into the insulated pile. An interesting one, this little one, little USB one, but it's got a couple of little gold pins at the top there. Not sure where that's even from. Another D-link. This isn't stuff that's been built up over time, by the way, guys. This is just a load I picked up today from a local resident. Thank you, Stuart. He was actually asking me, you know, if it's why I do it, how I got into it. This one's silver, unfortunately. I was telling him the story of when there was lockdown and COVID hit, that I went round to the local dump to obviously get rid of some stuff, and sat in a queue to get into the dump for 2 hours. It's one of those things, like when you're in the queue, you know, you don't want to come out of the queue. And that was my scenario. But at that time, I could see the person behind me was an old lady in her car, and it was a hot day, and she was looking worse for wear, to be honest. So what I did is I got out my car and I said to her to put her stuff in my car. I could see it wasn't a big pile of stuff. We're sitting in that queue and it wasn't moving. So put your stuff in my car and you can get yourself off. Yeah. So I think anyone would do, yeah. But you know, she was very grateful, made me feel really good actually. And at the time I was actually off on paternity leave as well, because I just had my little one. And I thought, you know, I'm round and about. Lots of people can't get out and about because of COVID or don't want to. The fear obviously of COVID at the time was great. So I put a little message up about scrap electronics and things like that. If people are going to the dump to get rid of their electronics, then, you know, I'll come and pick them up and I'll do that for them. Again, just, you know, a bit of community spirit, a bit of helping out other people. I was available and able to help, so that's what I did. And that gave me the kind of the bug for doing it and enjoying doing it. And that then materialised into, well, this stuff's broken. Being a curious person, what's inside it, yeah. And then looking at lots of videos, other people doing teardown videos, and realising obviously there's good stuff in these things, yeah. So why am I taking that all around to the city dump and giving them all the stuff? Why don't I do it myself? Anything that works fine or I can fix, then I can donate to charity shops and again help out that way a little bit, so things get reused and recycled. So that's how I got into it. That's how I started doing it, and I've been doing it ever since now. So at least 2.5, nearly 3 years in now, and you know, enjoy it. Take great inspiration from you other scrappers online. So you know, if I'm subscribed to you, you are one of my inspirations. And I do enjoy doing it, so it's a great little hobby. Love taking things apart. Love searching for copper and for brass. And you know, little opportunities arise with these things as well. Do I make money of it? No, I don't make any money. Yeah, I mean, the amount of time and effort you put in, the petrol money to go and pick stuff up. I mean, you need to pile loads and loads of stuff up to make any money. And as I've said many times before, the most metal you make is the shred steel. Yeah, and that's worthless almost. It's, you know, you need an awful lot of it to make anything. I mean, you're talking like 200 odd kilos to make 30 quid. Yeah, so, or 30 pound, depending on where you are. So yeah, that's the story. Excuse me. Showing off my Bruce Lee tattoo there. Yeah. Big Bruce Lee fan, big martial arts fan. There's the other one. Big Bruce. So that's it, guys. That's scrapping down the wire. What I will do is I'll show you my pile that I'm going to take in for scrapping. So there it is. Not a great deal, not a lot, but you know, it's all additions to the copper bin once that's stripped. So not so bad. As I say, that's just, you know, a few electronic items for a day. So, you know, it was worth doing. Yeah. So I hope you enjoyed the video, guys, as always. If you did, hit that like button. If you've not subscribed, then please really do consider subscribing to the channel. It does help me out a great deal. You know, we need to get that subscriber tally up, because it's sitting at around the same mark as it has for some time. So, you know, do subscribe if you like the videos, for more teardown videos, for more scrapping videos, and we will see you on next Scrapping Scotland. Keep scrapping, guys. Bye.